between there and Springfield, Massachusetts, the snow is starting to stick, and some folks are reporting almost whiteout conditions there. So traveling there pretty nasty, and we expect as this storm slowly pulls our way this evening, maybe some of those conditions will be experienced by the motorists on 495 a little bit later on tonight.
Yeah, it doesn't look too bad there right now, but we are beginning to notice the snow increasing. I understand the Boston Red Sox are a little concerned about the weather tomorrow.
Yeah, disappointed, I think, would be the best way to put it, and the fans too. The home opener, the Red Sox home opener at Fenway, has been postponed at least one day, pushed back to Tuesday, so there will be no home opener tomorrow because of the weather, because of the potential of snow and the cold and the wind and everything. So again, the boys of summer having to deal with a little bit of winter.
I was going to say, I don't think of baseball and snowfall going hand in hand. All right, Jeff, thanks for that report, and we'll continue to keep talking to you as we head through the evening hours.
Okay.
Okay. Well, that's the situation, as you can see, just outside of the Boston area. So far, not too bad. But now that the sun has set and the temperatures are beginning to cool, we are seeing the snow on the increase. Let's show you our satellite picture and tell you what's happening here. Again, that low is out to sea, but we are seeing some of the moisture. You can see the blue clouds here indicating some of the more moisture-laden clouds, and you can see for the most part that moisture is generally heading off in a northeasterly direction. So far, just beginning to see the tip of our stormy situation here. There's our low, just off the coast of New England, and for the most part, right along the coast, we've been dealing with rain today, but now that the temperatures are setting, we are starting to get a little bit more of that cold air wrapping on in. So we're beginning to get rain mixed with snow around areas like Islip, also around Suffolk County. West Hampton's been reporting some snow. Further inland, northeastern Jersey on into interior areas of Connecticut, western and eastern Massachusetts, it has been snowfall, and then on into New England, it's been snowfall. But look at our temperatures. At the surface, things are still fairly warm. That's why the roads are in still pretty good shape. Like Jeff was showing you just a second ago, right now around the Boston area, it's 38. So the roads are still in fairly good shape. But as the temperatures continue to cool tonight, you could see first the bridges and the overpasses becoming a little bit slippery. And we'll begin to see that snow accumulating. In fact, around the northwestern sections of Boston, just to the north and west, winter storm warnings for about 4 to 8 inches of snow. Here's the latest radar picture, and again, the interior areas, northern Jersey here into Connecticut, also on into northern areas of Rhode Island, all north of here. This is generally snowfall. South of that, it's rain mixed with snow. Now, it's going to be changing over to snow in many areas. Lighter accumulations are expected around New York City, probably about 1 to 2 inches, and mainly on the grassy areas. Shouldn't be too much of a problem there. Hartford, you're going to see maybe 4 to 8 inches of snow, as well as Springfield, Boston. You'll find some lighter snow amounts as the night continues to wear on. And you can see the moisture here just continuing to funnel on in from the Atlantic. So this is a situation that's going to be with us basically through the rest of the night. Now, the other problem is, as this low intensifies, the winds are going to be picking up. 35 to 45 mile-an-hour winds expected along some of the areas of the east-facing shores of Martha's Vineyard and the east coastal sections of Massachusetts, where there are coastal flood warnings through the nighttime tonight. The seas are running about 1.5 to 2.5 feet above normal. High tide generally occurring between 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, so that's probably when the worst flooding will occur. We'll continue to keep you posted of the accumulating snow, and as things change over to snow and the road conditions. Now we head back into the studio with Gene, the latest in the weather around the country, and also that forecast for more snow.
Thank you very much, Terry. You know, spring started almost 3 weeks ago, but the eastern half of the country, it sure feels like winter. Look at some of these record low temperatures around the country tonight. There was plenty of cold. Cincinnati, Ohio, 19 degrees. While Shreveport, Louisiana, almost down to the Gulf Coast there, 34 degrees. Tyler, Texas, San Antonio, you tied your record low at 35. And Baton Rouge, 36 degrees. Lots of cold temperatures.
a special edition of WeatherScope with the latest on the coastal storm threatening New England.
Good evening, Terry Smith here live in the Forecast Center where we are monitoring nothing out of the ordinary this winter. More snow, this time again in New England and parts of the Northeast. Snowmaker. Let's go ahead and show you the scenario in the upper levels. The upper level low that's sitting over the Great Lakes is having a tremendous impact on what's happening with our storm that is at the surface. The low right now is sitting right over the smack over the Great Lakes, and it's helping to kind of steer our surface low out to sea right now. But come tomorrow, tonight and tomorrow, it's going to be showing you lighter snow interior areas upstate New York, also into New England as we get a little closer. What we have in Boston, again, some rain mixed with some snowfall here. We also have pretty steady snow into the Hartford area. And New York City, a little rain mixed with some light snow for you as well. There are winter storm warnings, though, for Hartford, as we're expecting about 4 to 8 inches of snowfall in that region. As you can see, through tomorrow evening, our heaviest snows eastern New York, interior regions of Maine. Boston, you could see 1 to 2 inches, 1 to 2 inches, also not out of the possibility around New York City. So a few slick spots tomorrow. And the other aspect of the storm is that the winds with it, as it intensifies and moves inland, really picking up. So coastal flood warnings are in effect for those east-facing shores, including Martha's Vineyard. Between 2 and 3 in the morning, we could find seas running about 1 to 3 feet higher than normal. So that's the situation as it stands now. And again, there's the possibility we're going to be dealing with some more snow come about.
Look at all the snow. Interior New England, parts of upstate New York, 6 to 12 inches, not out of the question. Low temperatures will be cold over the Great Lakes in the Northeast tomorrow morning. Then we start to see a warming trend. Look at all these warm temperatures march steadily eastward during the week, and even in New York, where it's snowing today and maybe could snow Tuesday, we're finally looking for temperatures in the 50s by Friday and Thursday and Friday. That sounds great. Much of the country finally seeing spring temperatures. It's about due. It's overdue, really. Scattered snow showers northeast Tuesday. Could this be another nor'easter? We'll have to keep a close watch on this as moisture moves into the Pacific Northwest. Wednesday, a few more lingering snow showers in the northeast as some moisture moves into the central Rockies. By Thursday, much of the country pretty dry for the most part, but then Friday, we could develop an area of strong to severe thunderstorms over the central part of the country. We're going to have to keep a close watch on this. An update on that nor'easter coming up right after this.
Set off some fireworks in your garden. Just sprinkle on Scott's Plant Food. It feeds for up to 2 months and makes your plants fuller and more beautiful. That's the Scott's difference.
Now, your local forecast. Accurate, up-to-date weather information for your neighborhood. Only on the Weather Channel.
Around Boston and New York City. I mean, we're still warmer than freezing, fortunately, but this is the area where our present storm, winter storm maker, is located. So the temperature is quite critical here. Very mild, though, across the south and the west. Very, very pleasant. Here's what's going on right now across the country. Overall, fairly quiet pattern with the exception of this one low-pressure system just off the New England coast, and it's been pulling in a lot of moisture. We've been seeing earlier today a lot of rain along the coast primarily, but now that the temperatures are beginning to cool, we're actually seeing that rain mixing with some snow and some steadier snows along coastal areas. And then certainly inland, we've been watching the snow throughout much of the day. In fact, we've had accumulations, 4 or 5 inches in some areas in New York and also into Pennsylvania. Quiet until you get into the middle Mississippi Valley. This low-pressure system could be our next snowmaker, believe it or not. Right now, it's just producing some rain. And then we have high pressure in the west, that offshore flow, keeping us lots of sunshine. Just wonderful. Not so in the east, though. This is what's been happening in parts of Maine. Basically, Boston, snow advisory for you, about 2 to 4 inches of snow to accumulate. We're already seeing the rain mixing with some snow tonight at this hour, and it will continue to get a little bit cooler. Eventually, you'll see that snow becoming a little bit more frequent than it is currently. And then down like into New York City, you shouldn't have too much of a problem with it, just light snow. We presently are seeing that, maybe a couple of inches to accumulate mainly on the grassy areas. It looks like the heaviest snowfall areas like northern Connecticut here on the western Mass and again into New England region. So that's what's standing right now. A little bit of snow too in the Ohio Valley, but you know what? That's going to be for tomorrow. This is going to be a really interesting forecast. So let's go ahead and give you the details as we check into the first part of the week. Our low temperatures generally just above freezing in the cities themselves, New York City, Hartford, Boston. But for you folks on the suburbs, you may find your temperatures a little bit cooler. So in some of the suburban areas, certainly where we have untreated roads, we could find some problems tomorrow morning. So give yourself some extra time. Inland will be below freezing, so whatever is stuck to the roads will be there probably when you're heading in. Now, as that low tracks on out, we're still going to be seeing the snow continuing tomorrow, folks in the east, but we have a few problems in the west as well. Tonight, we've got some rain initially, but it's going to be mixing with snowfall, as we're already seeing around New York City, around Boston. Interior areas are seeing the snow accumulating. So if you're going to be traveling on up toward Albany, for instance, or on into the mountains of Pennsylvania, be aware of that. Some snowy roadways likely. The snows tonight extending down through the spine of the Appalachians. Tomorrow, the sun angle will prevent it from being snow in the Appalachians, just snow here in New England. But then tomorrow night, the sun sets, another storm moves in.